Hi, I'm Bryan Herta, team principal of Bryan Herta Autosport with the Hyundai Elantra N TCR race team. I'm incredibly proud of the 5 consecutive championships. I don't know for sure, but I don't know if it's been done in IMSA. It hasn't been done very often by any brand. And to be able to bring a brand like Hyundai and N, and you know, I'm talking to club members, so you guys all know what the cars are and the capabilities. But you probably see this when you bring new people in your car or show it to them, they're surprised, right? They don't understand that this is where Hyundai's evolved to, and the level of performance and technology and how fun the cars are to drive. And so to get to kind of surprise people with a brand that people didn't think Hyundai was a top performance brand, and I think now they have to take it seriously. So this is now the 3rd N model that we've raced in TCR. We started the first year with the i30N as a warm-up because we hadn't had any N models here in the US yet. Then of course we went to the Veloster N, which was a great car, and we won championships in many races. We're really excited when the Elantra N came out. It enabled us to kind of evolve and continue to improve the N brand and the N race cars. And as we see more and more N models coming out, you know, we're excited to see where else that we may be able to track test and track prove those cars, whether it be in TCR or, you know, there's other challenges out there that we'd love to tackle with Hyundai. Since we started this project with Hyundai and N in motorsport, you know, we've had a lot of different drivers through the program. But I think one of the things that's most consistent is we really do look for drivers that have a passion for driving, that want to have that fun experience, because that's what N's all about, is fun, passion, what's possible. And we look for drivers that embody that. And we've had, you know, from our female champion, Taylor Hagler, to Robert Wickens winning the championship last year, and really, you know, Mason Cleavey, all of our drivers that have come through the program, they understand and they really kind of embody those qualities of N. Motorsport is such a fluid situation that we do a lot of the work before we ever get to the track. We do as much preparation as we possibly can on the cars, the equipment, our planning, but still when we get here, we get surprised. And so trying to adapt and react and have plans in place for, you know, how to adjust to any kind of given situation, how to overcome the challenges as they come up on race weekends. That's one of the things I'm most proud of about our team, is I feel like they do that extremely well.
I'm Megan Ryder. I'm the lead engineer on the 77 car this year with Taylor and Bryson. So in order to make sure the race car has its optimal performance, you know, we've got the crew guides to check over the car mechanically, but specifically what I'm used to is all the system side. And so we have to make sure every button on the steering wheel is operating correctly. We check that the ECU has the correct engine map in it. You know, that's crucial to power in the car, and if we can make it as fast as possible. And then we want to make sure that every sensor on the car is operating, so then we can get the correct data out of the car as well. So then when we go and look through data, then that, if it's correct data, it tells us, okay, where can we improve? Can we lower the car? Can we add more wing to the car? Is there a little bit room to go lower on the splitter? Like, how can we make those small changes to make it that much faster on track?
You know, Daytona comes with its own challenges. I think, you know, from a physical standpoint, unless you're in the 24-hour, it's a little bit less demanding because you have so much time on the baking. But from a technicality standpoint, it can get a bit technical when you start thinking about tire conservation and some of the off-camber corners on the exits, and just really making sure you stay focused the entire time. And the racing is tough here usually, so, but it's a lot of fun, and Daytona is definitely special.
Daytona is one of those tracks when you drive in the tunnel and you look around, it's always in awe. So having raced here, I guess, about 20 years, it's always just as sort of daunting when you look at the banking. You think, man, this is just such a fun place to go racing. Is it one of the most challenging tracks we do? Not really. I mean, like Mason said, tire management's important. You know, just staying out of trouble, really. But like physically, not too bad because it's not too hot. Typically, there's a lot of time to rest on the banking. It's really just maximizing the bus stop, and otherwise there's a lot of downtime. But you know, tracks like Sebring, for example, would be a lot more, you know, physically demanding because you're always moving. You've got to be up on the wheel all the time. There's no time for rest.
So this is our first season with the team. We're coming from 2 years in the Audi, and this is our first race in the Hyundai. And you know, we're thrilled to be a part of Bryan Herta Autosport and the Hyundai team.
Denis Dupont, I'm Belgian, I live in Montreal, and it's my first race with Bryan Herta Autosport and Hyundai.
No, I wouldn't call it the most challenging. It is difficult to put down, you know, your best lap time just because there's so much time spent on the banking. And so if you mess up getting out onto the banking, you're going to blow your lap time. But in terms of the actual layout, the corners, they're not super tricky. They do take some time to learn, but I mean, it's the majesty of the place that makes it special.
Yeah, not the most tricky, but the race is definitely interesting with the draft and the strategy that can come to with it. It's an interesting track, but not the most challenging.
Several years ago, we hosted our first N Club right here in Florida. And since then, we've learned and watched the N community really grow. And we've invited more and more N clubs and had more participation from N clubs all over the country. And most of the races now, we do get-togethers, car corrals, meet and greets with the drivers, give away team gear. And you know, that's really fun for us because this is what it's all about. You know, the enthusiasts out there, the N Club members, they're the ones that really support us, and they're the ones behind us every single race. So we want to do everything we can to support them back.
Eric. I run the N Club Florida chapter.
My name's Robert Santiago from the Elantra N Performance Group back in Georgia.
My name is Yaumil Vega. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I'm part of the N Club Florida.
My name is Brian Lutz. I am from Atlanta.
My name is Diego Martinez. I'm from DeLand, Florida with N Club Florida. Being a part of N Club feels like a family almost, at least in N Club Florida. The president has been very welcoming to us all. He always treats us very closely and with humility. It's also not only that, not only the treatment, but also like the events are also pretty fun. I would say insane sometimes, but that's the whole point of being an N Club. You have an N car, and it gets you to actually enjoy that experience because it's a performance car.
I was motivated to join the N Club after I did the Hyundai experience at Road Atlanta. Saw the car for the first time. Looked like a good group to kind of join. Found a group, hung out, did a couple events with them. It's just a good atmosphere, good people to be around with.
Well, I was inspired to be on the N Club just because I never expected to have a Hyundai first thing. And when I had it, it kind of like opened the doors for me to actually see other people having a Hyundai as well. And all the motivation and all the cars at the road at the same time, all the events they're going through. And that basically motivated me to join the N Club and be in the N Club and attend the events as well.
Being in N Club is super fun, and what motivated me to form it is to get everybody in love with the brand. The fun part is being with Hyundai and N Club is that we get to share the joy of driving these cars every single day. Now, Bryan Herta does this every single year for all the enthusiasts around the USA, and he does an excellent job on it.
I'll tell you what, the hospitality and the members and how open and inviting everybody is here has been absolutely mind-blowing. I was invited here by a member of the Florida N Club, and I had my expectations, and it continued to just get absolutely blown out of proportion to the point where this has been the best weekend of my life, knowing that the N Clubs all across the country, not just here in Florida, are getting bigger and better and more popular and more diverse. That's something that a lot of people are going to take notice in, and I'm just so happy to be not exactly part of the beginning of it, but growing on top of it. The Bryan Herta Auto Club experience was just something that, once again, it goes on top of that just blown out of proportion experience. I knew about them, I knew how successful they were with touring cars, but the fact that they were just so engaged with the community in Florida is just something that I don't think any other team can ever just replicate. I mean, I know Porsche of America, that's something that's been going on for decades. We are making strides to get to that level based off what I've just seen. Now, the success with the team is going to play a lot on top of that, but the community outside of it, that's something that's going to just really play a part in getting Hyundai where it needs to be. We are in Florida.
If you ask me what's the Bryan Herta philosophy, I don't know. I think really what it comes down to is not like the magic tricks that really win races. It's execution. It's doing all the little things really, really well and doing them consistent. And so I guess that's our philosophy, is to focus on the little details.
Yeah, so mentally preparing for a race, I think a lot of it, good sleep, make sure that you study everything, be as prepared as possible before you get to the track. That way when you get to the track, you just have to focus on one thing, and that's driving.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always good rest, getting a good amount of food in you. Really important just to be hydrated. Honestly, some of the basic stuff, really not overthinking it too much. It's just being fit, getting a good stretch in, trying to get a run or workout in, get the heart rate up, and then you get kind of out in the car and it's go time.
I try and get a lot of rest before we get here. Make sure my exercise routine's in shape. Just, you mentally go through the track in your head, every corner, how you're gonna drive it.
Yeah, I think also trying to stay fit the whole year, but also we work a bit on the sim before the race to try and have already all the marks on the track. So.
There's lots of opportunities to get into sports car racing now, way more than there were 15, 20 years ago when I was starting to think about racing. I got into racing late in my life. Didn't really even think it was a possibility for me. And the number of ways that you can get into racing on a budget now and progress are significant. So don't feel like it's completely unattainable if you're interested.
And never stop dreaming, never stop working. Sometimes it may seem complicated, out of reach, but if you just keep on showing up, keep on working, it will happen.
I learn from Mark every day. I mean, and Chris and everybody. I think that always have an open mind when you come to the track. I think every single day you're here, you can learn something new, and off track too. I think when you get started, it's always about just soaking in information and not getting too in your head about, oh man, what's the next step. And I think Mark can speak on a lot more because he has some amazing experience in coaching.
I mean, the big thing is don't take anything for granted. I mean, motorsport is changing all the time. Every time you go to the track, something is different, something is new. There's always a new challenge. So you're really just focused on being in the moment and focus on just optimizing what you have on that day. You don't want to look back to past years. We obviously have a lot of experience with these cars here, but there's always a new challenge. So really it's absorbing, like Mason said. There's something that we'll see from our engineers, something we'll see from the data, something that we'll see from each other, and we're always just feeding off of that to try to maximize and get as much out of the car, as much out of ourselves as possible every weekend. And yeah, I mean, just don't take anything for granted. There's always something new to learn.